Well, good evening, Bear Nation and guests. I guess we might have some guests tonight. We shall see. For those that don't know, I am the Oso Independiente. I am Bear with BearIndependent.com. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. That will help you suck less in the days ahead. And if you're not new here, you know what to do. Share the damn show. It is the Thirsty Thursday live stream where we do Q&A. So put your questions in the comments down below in all caps. The number one rule is y'all be nice to one another. If you can't be nice to one another, we will be mean to you, and we will exercise you from the mosh pit that is the Bear Nation. You will be bounced out of this place post haste. Sound good? That sounds really good, Bear. All right, everybody in agreement? We totally agree, Bear. All right, good. Good talk. Shalom, Tactically Torah, Lovely Dully, Rain Cat, all the other blue wrenches in the chat. Another point, if you ask a question in the chat and somebody with the blue wrench answers your question has been answered, because we get, 50 to 100 of the same questions every live stream? Yeah? So they know my answer. You might not know my answer, but they know my answer. So that's how that works. How many IRS agents does it take to screw in a light bulb? More than they have, is my guess, because they outsource that stuff.
More than their budget's for.
Yeah, I don't know, what, another $63 billion? Was it? No, it was $76 billion. I just reported on this the other day. $78 billion. 84 billion? Yeah. Ah, good times. Shalom, brother Chad, the best hair in the Bear Nation. Well, Hans and Chad are in a competition for best hair off in the Bear Nation. We should do a high stakes best hair challenge. The winner will start a GoFundMe. The winner gets the totality of the GoFundMe, but the loser has to shave their head. Live on Bear TV. What's up, Joshua? Grim Survival, shalom. What's your favorite striker fired 9mm polymer frame 9mm pistol? The one you got. What's up, Rescue? Shalom. Sorry I'm late, but great to see you. What's Cat Lady Homestead 23 meow? That is a mouthful. You are now Cat Lady. Best friend of the competition. You have that? Oh, I need an airsoft weapon. Or a non-airsoft weapon. I better grow my hair out then. TT, I love you, brother, but you have a chance against either Chad or Hans. Their hair is tremendous. Tremendous. Thing going on, and Chad has the American Indian thing going on, and it's just, any more would be homosexual for me to continue to talk about it. So I'll just say, yeah. Why are you gay? Because of Hans's hair. I'm just saying, we started GoFundMe. We do like we take a poll on Patreon, who has the best hair. The winner of the best hair gets the GoFundMe. The loser has to shave their head. So, Bear, you sell pieces of hair, LOL. Yeah, I probably could be like, I've got Hans hair on BearIndependent.com right now, $50 a lock, and people would eat it up. Good job, Romans. The rooster was timed out. Was he cockle-doodle doing? Oklahoma was hot as hell today. Yes, Jonathan, it was, but not as hot as it has been. Unless you're in a different part of Okie than I am.
It was fine.
It wasn't too bad. It has been stupid hot lately, though, and it's supposed to be hotter again next week. But it just kind of dawned on me earlier today that today is Thursday. That means if I make it another 26 hours, it's spot, homie. Like, I can't wait. Man. Machete or hatchet for bushcrafting? Oh, it depends. Depends on where you're at. I've used both. I'm more of a fan of the big knife than the machete, but I will show you a machete. Look at my shirt.
Look at my shirt.
Mm-hmm. This is an El Salvadoran condor knife and tool. And with a super cool Kydex sheath and a belt loop and this thing, rather than being made out of a leaf spring out of an old pickup truck, is pretty awesome. It's also dumb expensive, and apparently a chicken has already shit on the handle, because that's how my life works. Yeah, that's chicken shit. Well, hashtag homestead. You're gonna get some, buddy. But I have not used this thing once yet, not one time, but I love the way it feels in hand. It's almost kukri-esque, the way the handle is. Very nice. But typically, if I'm gonna do like big knife stuff, I have many a hatchet. I've carried a hatchet many a time, and what I found was that the Ontario Knife Company RTAC 2, which is just a big survival knife, replaced the hatchet and weighs less. And it's better at processing firewood. So it was so hot here in the PNW, we had to wear t-shirts. Yeah, okay. Had to put it in August for t-shirts. Sorry about that.
What do you use to sharpen your knives?
What do I use to sharpen my knives? Yeah, that's a really good question. I'm right by it because I sharpen my knives regularly. So they're right here. Because I knocked the Copper Tone Sport SPF 50 off the table. I have this little diamond stone that Stalwart Peacekeeper gave me right here. That's good for dressing an edge. For putting an edge on, but for dressing an edge. It has the ubiquitous slot in it for a fish hook. Hey, you ever sharpen a fish hook? He's distracted.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so people actually sharpen fish hooks?
Yes.
Okay, I've never sharpened a
If you
fish
don't
hook.
have any more on you, you sharpen them.
Gotcha. All right, I don't do a lot of fishing, so.
And it also depends if you're using a $5 hook or like a 25-cent hook.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So it has the ubiquitous hook sharpening feature. It has a flat on it for sharpening a blade, and it has round portions for either sharpening a blade or for sharpening serrations. So I like this. It's good for touching up. It's not like you don't make an edge with this, you touch up an edge with this. And then I have the Lansky puck right here. And I like the Lansky puck. It's pretty good for, what are you doing?
People were saying they were having a hard time with audio.
They're having a hard time with audio?
Audio.
Yet again?
Yet again.
Come on now. So, hey, Hans, bless you, brother. Thank you. So the ubiquitous Lansky puck, this is really good for axes and large knives. It's relatively coarse. And then a whetstone. This is just a 6-inch whetstone. As you can see, it's well used. And it's got like 400 grit on one side and 1,000 grit on the other. You might even be able to see it's a little bit sway back at this point just from being used. But this is what I use to sharpen knives. I have one of those fancy Lansky sharpening systems that Stalwart Peacekeeper also got for me. That thing puts a wicked edge on a knife. And so if I have a knife that needs an edge, I'll put it on the Lansky. If I need to touch up an edge, what do you want? Which one do you want? The whetstone or the diamond thing or?
Diamond thing.
Diamond thing.
Just a little tuning.
A little tuning? There you go. So that's what I use to sharpen knives. Any advice on building a water filter system? No. All the water filters we have came out of a box. The one that's hooked up to the well came out of a box. We installed it, plumbed it. The one that's on the counter says Berkey on it, and we took it out of the box and put the filters in it. The one that's in my bug out bag says Sawyer on it, and I took it out of the box and put it in the bag. So I don't know. I just don't know. Who dat? Fun fact, possums eat ticks. Another fun fact, they also eat chickens, therefore they eat lead on our homestead. And another fun fact, if they fall into a dumpster, they're unable to get out. And I'm sure you've heard the phrase, like shooting fish in a barrel. It's like shooting possums in a dumpster, man. It literally just press barrel of the 22 against his face as it's hissing at you. Problem solved. And that's about the extent of what 22 is good for at SHT. You're welcome, Rick. You suggest hurting the roof of rainwater collection to prevent chemicals from the shingles getting in the water. Yes, no. After the first couple of years on brand new shingles, you don't have the problem, as I understand it, with the chemicals in the shingles leaching out. It's more of an issue of grit as much. So you're going to want to figure out that same filter system that Rick has an issue with to run your rainwater. Believe it. My words are not great this evening. Let me see that. That's a cute little knife. Yeah. Not bad. You could definitely open an Amazon box. Hey, Bess. Good to go. Dig it. I have a box of drill engravers. I do Diamond King razor dress. Awesome. The audio cutting out like a connection network speed issue. Okay.
I didn't hear it on that.
Audio is a bit choppy. Stand by. Stand by, Bear Nation. How about now? I see the top of my head. I must be back. Yeah, I'm back. Get him, Rain Cat. Get him. Get him. Hey, what's up, Devin? All right. Let's do this dang thing. If I cut out again, before I cut out again, before the Iranians or the Chinese or the Fed boys or Pelosi or anybody else takes me down, a few key things you need to understand. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. The Father loves you. The Son died for you. You should serve Him. Do good works. Otherwise, none of this other shit matters. And then stop thinking about stuff and start doing stuff. Okay? Okay, good. Now that we got that out of the way, back to the live stream. Oh, who cares? They'll be back. Bear, are guardian dogs or livestock protection dogs part of your prep? Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a huge dog that will tear your throat out. And not like, a lot of people have dogs where they're like, well, I know he's a good breed. He's a man killer. Nope, that's not how that works. You have to have training. And our dog is trained and he's awesome. So that Sasquatch you saw down by the range must be messing with your fiber optic cable. Paula Scott, I'm telling you, the red dot versus LPVO video at 8 minutes and 8 seconds. There's a string of fire, and between rounds 3 and 4, something runs between the trees and the berm, and there was nobody back there but me. I posted it up on Patreon. I was like, check this out, man. It's crazy, dude. Yeah, gave me goosies the first time. I think it was Musket Minuteman or Musket Man or something like that first posted it, and then Tabar messaged me and he's like, yo, dude, people are saying it's Sasquatch in your video. I was like, yeah, LOL, whatever. He's like, no, you need to go look. 8 minutes, 8 seconds in between rounds 3 and 4. Bro,
but when you first were doing the range, didn't you?
Yeah, hell yeah,
like,
I did.
Oh no, I've got that creepy feeling.
Yeah, I had to go.
Yeah.
I went back there. I fired 7 AK mags full, so that's 210 rounds, and 100 rounds of 45. I was having a big bore day, right? I'm gonna go shoot some big guns, right?
Yeah.
So I go back there, fired 310 rounds. I missed twice. I was just running through the steel, right? And not up close, right? I'm back, I'm moving, I'm shooting, I'm having a great day at the range. And I get done, and it's almost like oppressive how eerie it is. And then something over here starts knocking on a tree, and I'm like, what? And then over here, there's a And I'm like, son
I'm
of
in,
a
bro.
whoo! And the hair stood up on the back of my neck and my arms. I got goosies, and I was like, and I still had 3 more loaded AR mags, or loaded AK mags, and 3 mags full of hollow points. Hi, babe. 1 second. 1 second. And I had just shot better than 99% accuracy. And I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta get on the 4-wheeler and get out of here, man. So something's up back there. Phil H, roger that. Get better, brother. Heal up, Phil H. Texas T, shalom, brother. So Jonathan Mize said, I saw that Nephilim in your site video. What is the best caliber to take something like that out? So here's the deal. David killed Goliath with a rock thrown from a sling that had the equivalent foot-pounds of energy of a 45 ACP. And that worked. So, I don't know. Handgun calibers to knock them down. And then see, everybody's like, David killed Goliath with a rock. Negative. Read the story. David knocked Goliath over with a rock, and then he picked up Goliath's sword and cut his head off, then held it up for all the other Philistines to see. And that's when the Philistine army was like, bro, we need to peace out of here. We don't want any of that, because Goliath's down and he's been beheaded. So, I'm just saying, like 45 to put him on the ground, maybe 308, 300 Win Mag after that, buckshot, 1 1/4 ounce, 3-inch Magnum slugs, something to that effect. Yeah, 7mm Rem Mag, exactly. So, Musashi Miyamoto, correct. But I do know that they don't like the sound of shofars. For real, they don't like the sound of shofars. Champ de Soleil, what's up? Shaloha, Professor Marianne. We love y'all back. It's good to see you. You ought to get in touch with Steve at How to Hunt. I know how to hunt. And if I can see a Sasquatch, I have the same policy for Sasquatch as I do for Nephilim, as for Oklahoma Dogman, or Little Gray Aliens, or Panamanian Paratroopers. Shoot them in the face, ask questions later. Plot twist, David killed a Squatch. Maybe. They love Little Debbie snack cakes and Burger King burgers. So does everybody else. That's not unique. What's your thoughts on the Trump raid? I would say tune into the brief tomorrow morning, Texas T. Do you have a shofar in your range gear? Stand by. Look at my shirt again. I don't have a shofar in my range gear, but I do have here a fine 34-inch kudu horn. And it rocks. I don't know. It's kind of like praying on demand. You know, you pray when you want to, blow the shofar when you want to. When the Father says, rather. So, like, it's funny, somebody said Dudley needs to just walk outside and randomly blow his shofar more often. We have shofar battles here. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool if you blow a shofar and then you hear somebody else blow one, and then somebody else blows one, and then somebody else blows one. And then a Rev Shabbat, Sundown Friday, it's on. Yeah. It's awesome. Hey, what are you doing? Okay, well, that bag weighs as much as you do. Hold on 1 second. Barrett, how do you train your guard dogs? The Ferry method, F-A-R-A-I. Look it up, Ferry Kennels, F-A-R-A-I. You look like a Yoder with that beard. Ishmael, get back in the barn and milk those cows. I don't want to have to tell you again. Let's see. Static very bad. What's the best that I got? Thoughts on Jace Medical? Getting this every live stream now. I don't know. I've never used them. Also, Duration Health does the same thing Jace Medical does. They have both talked a big game about getting involved with the channel, and neither one of them have followed through. I also think, honestly, given the world situation, they probably don't need me to say nice things about them right now. They probably can't keep up with their orders just like everybody else in the medical business right now. Stealing neighbors' Wi-Fi. Well, flip with me to Exodus chapter 20. You're not allowed to do that. Where did you find your shofar? I just bought it off the internet from Yisrael, from a place in Israel that makes them. Dude, can you talk about what your headlines say? No, renewed and forgiven. You fell for the trap. It's called clickbait. No, I'm actually not going to talk about any of that. That's not how the Q&A works. This is a Thirsty Thursday where we do Q&A. The headline is clickbait to fool people like you.
Yes, I can.
That was Dudley running downrange, not Bigfoot, but almost the same. No, it wasn't. No, there was nobody there but me. Just like step one before you shoot is make sure the range is clear. There was nobody there but me. Bless you, T-Bone. Not stealing, just borrowing. What's up, Garen? Shalom, brother. If you were ATF, how would you disarm you? Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that here. Nice try, ATF. Jag, silos for SHTF. Hell yes. If you were to the point where you need silos, go for it. Just remember, like everything else, you have to work your way through that inventory. You're going to end up like Ukraine right now with the problems that they have, where you put human food in the silo and now animal food's coming out of the silo. You can't stay in there forever. Big shout out from crazy New York. What's up, David? David Zach. The land of pizza and pasta, man. I bet there's even still phone booths in New York. The good old days. Where did you get your shofar? From a Hebrew place on the internet. That's what I remember about it. Guys, I'm really basic when it comes to stuff like that. I see a need, I feel a need, then I'm done. Like I don't remember. I wanted a big shofar. Like I said, that's a 34-inch kudu horn. And I was like, there it is, big shofar. I think it was $160. Ordered it, it's here, it rocks. It was my birthday today and my husband's yesterday. Well, happy birthday, Kelly. Bear, what is your favorite whiskey and cigar? Shout out from Tejas. Triple G Farms. If I could only have one kind of whiskey for the rest of my life, Blanton's. It's the best, but it's super expensive. So if I didn't have a Blanton's budget, I'd get Maker's Mark. And right now, because everything changes, right? Like life is dynamic. Right now, my favorite cigar is the Perdomo Maduro 10-year reserve anniversary. Phenomenal cigars. And a friend of mine in Texas, a mentor of mine in Texas, introduced me to those 8 months ago. They got the highest rating ever from Cigar Aficionado. I think they're like a 98 out of 100, and they're a $10 stick. They're awesome. It's actually what I'm smoking right now. I just took the label off of it. But there it is. Perdomo Maduro 10-year anniversary. They rock. They're excellent. Super good. And they're rolled tight, almost like they're box pressed, and I'm a sucker for box pressed cigars. Crown Royal. Is Crown whiskey? Yeah, Crown's whiskey, right? It's not cognac. Joker, that's funny. Barrett, any idea for painting a rifle on SHTF? That video posted Monday on Patreon. Highly recommended you go watch it. Double Tap and Hillbilly, shalom, brother. Appreciate you. Are you still on 75 hard? Yes, I am. Today is day 39, I think, of 75 hard. Let me check my notes. Yep, day 39 of 75 hard. Which is, it's fun when everybody's like, you call yourself a man of God and you'd be smoking and drinking. Like, I'm not drinking right now. Part of 75 hard. So, also, by the way, there's been lots of men of God in the Bible that, like, cut people's freaking heads off. So quit being such a, you know, I've been trying to keep this a little PG, but I'm just going to go there. Earmuffs, kids. Quit being such a pussy. Stop trying to put me in your box. Okay? Okay. All right. Do you have kids? Yes, I have kids. Pay off a house or go buy tangible items. Pay off a house. Get out of debt. The rich rule over the poor, and the debtor is a slave to his debt. Proverbs. I'll tell you what, honestly, for me, one of the biggest moves I've ever made in my life was getting out of debt. Getting out of debt is how we were able to get out of North Texas suburbs here onto a piece of land that's bought and paid for. Getting out of debt and not operating our businesses in debt is how we're able to employ 20 families. It's why we have products on 4 continents. It's why we were able to move from my barn to an 8,000 square foot facility in under 3 years. Yeah, have Bub help you though, okay? He has to keep an eye on you. Yes, I've tried Belay Kentucky bourbon or Bullet. I love it. Bear, can you make a video for silos and SHTF for Homestead? I could, but I don't have a silo, so I would just be pontificating. I don't know, so I'm probably not going to do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Do you trim your beard or does Mrs. Bear? I don't trim my beard. This is what my beard looks like unrestrained for the last 6 months. This is 6 months of growth, people. And I know that like pisses a lot of people off, but I'm good for an inch a month.
2 years.
2 years? You're welcome.
It's coming.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. Keep it up. Hey, Iridium Group, what's up, Snowbird? Potato tower status. Pushed over into a pile in the garden. It got really hot and really dry here, and the potatoes that we had in there rotted because it rained for 6 weeks and then didn't rain at all for a couple of months. So, not great. Breath of fresh air, no way. You think I'm lying to you? Go back 6 months and look at the videos, asshole. AK or AR? Why choose? Both. One in each hand, homie. Terminator style. Could you please touch on your comments in an old video about blockchain being the beast? No. When his beard reached the end of its growth journey, it simply sheds itself off. Yeah. Are refuge medical supplies easy to learn how to use? And I want to say, as far as blockchain and the beast, I'm not trying to be a jerk, GK Farms. I appreciate you in the question. I just don't want to talk about that right now. I'm not in the mood. Not ready to go there right now. Maybe in a bit. My son TJ can't grow a beard. Poor kid, too much Cherokee. See, I'm a quarter American Indian, but I'm half German. And then the other quarter is like European mutt. Some Irish, some Scottish, some Welsh, like 2% French. We don't talk about that. Yeah, like 2% French. Yeah, we know you're all Mexican. How to keep kids quiet during SHTF event? The same way you keep them now. Keep them entertained, keep them fed, and don't freak out, because your attitude is contagious. And so if you're freaked out, they're going to be freaked out. If you're calm, they're calm. Also, yeah, we'll go here. If you're concerned about your children giving away your position to the point where somebody could kill you in SHTF, your position sucks. You got 2 choices. Give up your position and go to someplace that's more tenable, or give up your kids. I'm not going to give up my kids. I'm not going to do it. Thank you, R. Heath. I appreciate that. You know, people say to me all the time, like, somebody should do something about that. It's like, you're somebody. We're all somebody. Somebody should do something about that. Whatever that thing is do something. That's it. Do something. And if you can, support other people that are also doing something. Like, help. Not everybody has to be the lead guy or girl. And newsflash, in some of the organizations I'm involved in, I'm not. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally cool with being subordinate leadership as long as there's good leadership, right? But we're all somebody, so do something. When you see something and think somebody should do something about that, remember you're somebody. My dad, who would have been 74 a couple of days ago, always used to tell me growing up, son, you can do whatever you want to do. It just takes one word. Start. Just start doing it. Quit your bitching. Quit your analysis by paralysis or paralysis by analysis and just go. Just start doing it. And you'll learn so much more from doing it than you will studying how to do it. Doing is better than DIYing. Sold my home in Las Vegas, moving to southwestern Missouri. Roger that, survival trucker. That's awesome. What is your line in the sand moment? I moved to the woods in Oklahoma 4 years ago because I didn't want to play in the system anymore. Well, I've already had my line in the sand moment. I'm done playing. I'm creating a life that I want to live rather than allowing somebody else to dictate to me what my life should look like. And I have been doing that for years. I get to decide whether or not I want to live stream tonight. I get to decide whether or not I want to talk at the iPhone tomorrow. I get to decide whether or not I want to go to work tomorrow, or hang out with my kids and my wife, or play with the puppies, or go for a swim, or go to the range, or whatever. Now, actions have consequences. If I don't show up at work long enough, there won't be any money left. Okay. It's a choice, right? But I get to choose that. I made my own hamster wheel, and I run on it when I want to. I don't run on somebody else's hamster wheel because I have to. We're already there, man. This channel is called Bear Independent because I want you to be as independent of the broken, fragile system as possible. What's up, PJ? Speaking of leadership, Shalom, Viking Preparedness. That's my brother right there. So, as far as like, what's the line in the sand? We're living it. If you're still looking for lines, what are you doing? Like, hang up the ego and the bravado and hubris and actually take stock of your life. And if you don't like what it looks like, change it, move, do something different. And newsflash, it's not going to be catastrophic. Even if you royally F it up, you screw it up so bad it seems irrecoverable. Probably not. Probably not. You'll probably be okay. You probably have some skills and talents and abilities and giftings. You're probably marketable. You've probably learned some lessons in life that apply to wherever you're going to find yourself in your next stage of life. Like, you're going to be okay. You could take everything I have from me. Cool. All right. I'll do it again. I started my first business with a $200 chainsaw and a $500 pickup truck. And in 5 years, I sold that SOB for $1.4 million. I had 14 trucks and 38 employees. Then I went to work for another guy, and I was the fourth member of management. And accidentally, somehow, over the course of 4 years, they ended up becoming a 10-figure business. Yeah, and then I started another business of my own. And it was me. I was stacking up. I got colon cancer, and I broke up with my girlfriend. And I moved from upstate New York down to Oklahoma into my dad's house, and me and my dad were not getting along. The last time I had seen my dad, we had beaten the ever-loving shit out of each other. I had no place to go. I was like, the end of my life as I could possibly fathom, right? Like, I've got colon cancer, broke up with my girl of 8 years. All my friends in New York are a-holes. I rode on a Greyhound bus for 3 days to get from upstate New York to Oklahoma City, and then the connecting bus we missed because we got delayed in Indianapolis because a lady wouldn't sit down on the bus. So I had to wait another 23 hours in the bus station to get on the next bus to get to this part of Oklahoma. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And so I told the guy behind the counter, I'm going to need a refund for this portion of my trip. And he's like, I can't give you a refund just for the portion. I can only give you a refund for the whole price or for nothing. And since you're already here, I can't do the whole price. I said, you're either going to give me a refund or I'm going to pick the computer up off of your desk and I'm going to throw it through the front window. You pick. And he hit the button on the thing, the cash drawer opened, he gave me a refund. I called my dad, which I didn't want to do. Ego, hubris. Called my dad and I said, hey, I'm in a bad spot. He's like, where are you? I said, I'm in Oklahoma City. They said, what are you doing there? I said, I was actually riding a bus to your hometown because I got nothing. So I moved into my dad's house. We had to have a long conversation, 9 hours in his living room. We laughed, we cried, we yelled at each other, and we began to rebuild a bridge back towards one another again, right? And I was like down on my luck, dude. And for 2 weeks, I did nothing. I laid in bed for 2 weeks and just felt sorry for myself. And it was literally 2 weeks to the day. My dad knocked on the door. I said, what's up? He said, yeah, you can't lay in that bed anymore. You need to go do something. I'm like, what? And he said, you know more about this wind turbine stuff than anybody I know. And my dad was in the telecom and power construction industry for 40 years. He's like, you know your stuff. You should go start another business. I didn't have the money to start a business, but I did have a chainsaw. And so I started cutting people's trees. I took out a swamp maple in a lady's front yard that I would have charged $4,500 for $50. Because $50 was better than nothing, right? Now I got $50. Then I went and logged another lady's place outside of town, and I was making like $200 a day cutting timber. That's a joke. That's half of one log, right? But I started stacking up my money, and I bought 2 used 1-ton pickup trucks, AT&T trucks. They were $3,000 a piece. I had $10,000. I bought 2 trucks for $6,000. I bought tools for the 2 trucks, and I started calling everybody I knew. And in 1 year, I went from homeless, essentially, to having 17 contracts in the Midwest and Southwest. Guys working for me again, working all over the place, making money. And then I met my wife. I got another scary life change, right? I met her and I was like, I told her 9 days later, hey, I love you. We should do life together. She's like, you're awesome. I love you too. Let's do this thing. So then now I'm in residential construction because that's what she did. And she's like, you know anything about construction? I was like, yeah, you want to build a bridge or a wind turbine or pour 1,000 yards of concrete? I got you. She's like, no, how about we tile a bathroom, asshole? I'm like, oh, no, I don't know any of that. So again, ego, humility. My wife had to teach me how to cut crown molding. My wife had to show me how to lay tile, right? Like, yeah, how to float drywall, like all that stuff. And so we built her business up. And just a whole long story. And then I ended up working at the wood shop, right? And then we took that wood shop from a 1-car garage with 1 part-time employee to 13,500 square foot, 12.5 employees, you know, magically. No, it's not magic. It's blood, sweat, tears. That's what it is. That's it. You just put in the effort and then stuff happens. And so people are so afraid to make these big moves in life. And then they're like, but Bear, like, you've done so much in such a short amount of time. Yeah, I have. I've done so much. So I have this wealth of experience to draw from in all these different areas because I've done it. And so just like somebody asked, will you do a video on silos for SHTF? No, I don't know anything about silos for SHTF. There's no point in me making that video because I don't know it. But the stuff that I do know, the stuff that I've been exposed to and I've learned kinesthetically with my hands, totally comfortable talking about because I've done it. And those skills don't leave you when you change stations in life. You just move on to the next thing, and people get so stuck where they're at that they're afraid to jump. And if you're doing anything out of fear, you're wrong. You're commanded to fear one person, Yahweh your Elohim, the Lord your God. That's it. You should be afraid of him. Now, it doesn't mean you don't find yourselves in situations occasionally where it's like, man, I might have bit off more than I can chew. Yeah, but that didn't surprise your creator when you did that. He wasn't up there going, damn it, Bill did that thing. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like, he knows what's up. So don't be afraid to change your station in life. Don't be afraid to make moves just because they're scary. Yeah, like, if you're not living a life that's a little scary, what are you doing? Like, push the damn envelope. Like, don't get comfortable being comfortable. Comfortability is overrated. Like, it's super overrated. Comfortable people don't make it into record books. Nobody remembers the names of comfortable people. They don't leave a lasting impact on, let alone their wife and children, but society as a whole. Like, you don't think, like, Martin Luther King was uncomfortable occasionally, Ronald Reagan was uncomfortable occasionally, Napoleon, Marcus Aurelius, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Christ, was uncomfortable occasionally. Yeah, I bet you they had many uncomfortable periods in their life, but everybody knows their name now. And even then, you don't do it for the renown, you do it because it's the right thing to do. Like, the Father didn't create you to be a placeholder, like another cog in the machine. You were fearfully and wonderfully made from jump. Before you even existed, he knew exactly how many hairs were going to be on your head. And you're like, you know what I'm comfortable with? Mediocrity, because it's not scary. Screw that bullshit. Like, well, that's the thing. People conflate easy and good. They think that easy is good. No. Life is 24/7, 365 resistance training. The more resistance you can move, the more resistance you can move. And then all of a sudden you're doing big stuff that a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you didn't even think was possible. Like, now, what I pay in a month in salary to my teammates exceeds 2 years of what my income was 5 years ago. Praise the Most High. Ooh, that's scary. No, it's badass. What a blessing that I get to steward that, right? That the Father's put this many people in my life to do this many meaningful things with. Like, doesn't mean there aren't those nail-biting moments occasionally. Like, oh, I hope that some money hits the bank account so we can let our yes be yes and our no be no. But none of this surprises the Father. He's actually waiting for you to go do something meaningful. Like, do you want him up there shaking his head at you going, damn it, kid, why won't you do what I made you to do? Just go do what I made you to do. That's why you're here. It's not to be a placeholder. It's not to be a cog in the machine. Sorry, I was pontificating. Wyatt Coughlin. Bear, I'm not sure if this is intel or not, but went camping last week and found out the hard way that my daughter was allergic to bees. And after she was saved and got the EpiPen, we were told by the pharmacist to stock up on them. Well, praise Yah that your daughter's still here, homie. Sorry to hear that, but it's a good way to learn. Godin Homestead. Yeshua was a man of many sorrows. Isaiah. Agreed. Texas T. Bless you, brother. You were a lucky man to have a relationship with your father, good and bad. Oh, I agree, man. I'll tell you what, man. I was so mad, and rightfully so, at my dad for so long. It's only because of the grace of the Most High that I was able to have a relationship with him again. And I'll tell you this, if your parents are still here, don't miss the opportunity to talk to them. Like, I actually need to call my mom. My mom called me the other day and I was in the middle of something and I had to let it go to voicemail and I haven't called her back, and I need to call my mom because she's still here. But my dad isn't. And I miss my dad. Like, I totally took for granted all the times I could have just called my dad up and talked to him. And I totally took for granted all the times he called me up to just talk to me. It's like, and now in hindsight, like, you're never going to get that back. That never comes back. When it's gone, it's gone. And if you squander that shit, you're going to regret it, man. So don't squander that shit at all. I do regret it. You know, people are like, I have no regrets in my life. Horse shit. I've got a ton of them. And that's one of them. But praise the Father, man. A month before my dad died, he called me up. It was the middle of the day, and I was just working on the homestead. So I put my Bluetooth in, and I was talking to him while I was working, and we were on the phone for about 90 minutes. We talked about everything. My wife, my kids, the homestead, the businesses, the ministries, his childhood, the whole nine. We had just the most wonderful, beautiful, meaningful conversation for like an hour and a half, which for us is pretty rare. And I told him I loved him. He told me that he loved me. And that was the last time I talked to him. So, like, that's an awesome memory to have. But I'm telling you, there were 50 other times that year that I let his phone call go to voicemail. I shouldn't have done that. Like, it seemed like I had more important shit to do. I didn't. There wasn't a more important thing to do. And that goes also for your wife and for your kids as well. Like, people are the important thing. Like, you mow the grass 15 minutes later than you thought you were gonna be mowing the grass. You know, like, make that trip to Walmart 10 minutes later than you thought you were gonna be doing it. And I'm the worst at this because I'm huge on time management, right? Like, my day is broken into sections because if it's not, I have too much stuff for me to execute on. It won't get done. And I become the critical failure point in all the things we have going on. It's like, I need more wiggle room. I need the wiggle room that if my 5-year-old wants to hang out, I got time to hang out with a 5-year-old. Because I don't want her when I die to be like, damn, I wish dad had taken more time with me. You know? So don't squander that shit. That is the good stuff. And if you still have those people in your lives, I'm telling you, like, turn this live stream off and call your mom. Call your dad. Like, just go call them. They're more important than Bear is. Get on it, Pervy. Let's end the stream and everyone make those calls. If you got a call to make, go make it. I'm serious, man. Go make it. Bless you, Ed Wilson. The word of our Lord God is absolute. I agree. Yahweh our Elohim, the Lord Yahweh Sabaoth, Malachi 3 verse 6. I change not. You will get no argument out of me. Had a rooster thinning over here the other day. I'm down with that, homie. Hey, what's up, Chris Haynes? Took your words to heart. I spoke to a farmer, got 175 pounds of wheat berries, asked what's in the other grain bin, got 150 pounds of corn from that bin, and got a quarter beef from him as well. Thanks, Barry. Hey, praise Yah. Bless you, brother. Good work. Dano, bless you. Appreciate you. Can't keep up with all the comments. 1,500 people on here. Bless you, Hendrickson Homestead. Mommy should call her mom. Hey, what's up, Mama San? She was just on the phone with you the other day. Nice try, though. She's driving right now, but I'll tell her when I see her. My mother-in-law is awesome. You know, that's one of those things when people are like, oh, I hate my in-laws. Like, my in-laws kick ass.
I met her. She's cool as shit.
Well, one of the things when I first met my wife that was, like, mind-blowing to me was, like, her family's awesome. Like, they're awesome people. And coming from the dysfunctional family that I had, I was like, no, this is not possible. Like, I'm going to have to up my game if I'm going to be around these people because they're awesome people. So that was like, it was cool because, like, you didn't just gain a wife, like, gained a family, you know? Yeah, it was super cool. Same. I love that. Beef navel makes the best beef bacon. Yes, it does. And I appreciate you putting that in all caps with an exclamation point. Yeah. I bought my first Glock. It's the 43X, and I really liked my hand fit. Still need to shoot. Yeah, you do. Heard the trigger's not that good, but I'll be the judge. So any striker-fired pistol, the trigger's not going to be that good because part of the action on the trigger is that when you pull the trigger back, you're pulling the striker all of the way back, and then it drops off and lets go to fire the firing pin to ignite the round. So it's just a function of the way the gun works, but it also means that if you drop it, it's not going to go off accidentally. It's one of the safety features of a Glock. I'll tell you this, I've shot a lot of Glock pistols. I'm wearing one right now, and seems to be every year at the Shofar Mountain Games, I'm at least in the top 3. Just
allegedly.
Allegedly. I'll get you this year. We'll have a high-speed camera this year.
Yeah.
So, like anything, man, it's training. If every time I've actually shot with somebody that wasn't shooting very well, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's the trigger on this thing." It's like, you know what? It's probably the guy holding the gun or the girl holding the gun that's the problem, because they're more than serviceable. I have a buddy, Twitch, with his stock Glock 19X at 10 yards can shoot one whole ragged groups with an entire magazine at a good rate of fire. It ain't the gun. It's the person holding the gun. I watched Twitch shoot a copperhead in half at our range while the ARFCOM guys were here. Like mid-sentence, while we were shooting a video, he's like, "Hey brother, step back a minute." "All right, yeah." Boom! Shoots it in half, reholstered. Goes, "So anyway, so what I was talking about, you see, is with wound packing, which you want." I was like, "Hold on a minute, we just got that on camera, right? Like, you blew a copperhead in half with a 9mm? Awesome." So, it ain't the gun. It's the person holding the gun. Where is Twitch? He's doing refuge training stuff. When are we going to work on Caleb House? I can make some time. James Kaysen, email admin@grindstoneministries.com, and then you can have that intel. How are you going to change your acronym? CIA, TFB, IRS? Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Good job.
Good question, Jan Rude. Bear, how can you tell if it's God speaking to you and not your own stupid brain? Well, the first is read John chapter 16 concerning the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. The Spirit will convict you concerning sin, which is 1 John 3 verse 4, lawlessness. Righteousness, which is Luke 1 verse 6, blamelessly walking in the commands. And judgment, which is the death that you earn, the curse of the Torah for your transgressions. And so if anything is convicting you on anything outside of that, sin, righteousness, judgment, that's not the Holy Spirit. That's not the Father. To that point, the Father's never going to tell you to do something that's not biblical. I will also say, if you can't tell the difference between God's voice and the voice in your head, it's probably not God. Because he has spoken to me directly on several occasions, and I knew unequivocally it was him. I would also, for you, work on getting the voice in your head to shut up so you can hear the voice of the Creator. Be still and know that I am Yah. I would do that. Get still, get quiet, sit still, pray, push away all that internal dialogue and just be still and listen to his voice, and you'll know.
Also on that, brother, I don't think there's anything wrong with double checking. And a lot of times, if I think I hear something, he gives me confirmation more than once.
Yep.
You know, like if he's telling me something and I check with my wife, he's usually telling us the same thing.
That's a good word.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
that's a good word. What is everyone drinking? Personally, I've gotten a Beta chocolate cake stout. Those are delicious. What's up, Kyle? I'm drinking a Jocko Dak Savage. And I also have a bottle of water right over here. As my pastor says, the warrior beverage. He was one. He gets to say that. Nana loves you, Bear, but I will not spend $50 on your hair. Kim, you don't need to. Y'all are drinking waters. Bear Camp is a dry county right now. And that's okay because, 75 hard. And so, plus, Sukkot is coming. Feast of Tabernacles. I'll make up for it at Sukkot. I ain't worried about it. Me too, homie. I can't wait.
it's gonna be so good.
I love Sukkot.
Oh man,
That's awesome.
with cherry pop.
Somebody said at the most recent camp meeting, they're like, it feels like it's going to be different this year. I'm like, it's always different. It started with like me and 3 other tents, and then it grew to like, it won't fit on our place anymore. And then, yeah. praise the Father, right?
Amen.
Sukkot sounds like a blast. It is. Liquid IV added to a 16-ounce water bottle beats Gatorade. Yes, it does, because there's no sugar in that. Need to stock up on bourbon. I'd do it while you can. Grain is getting more and more expensive, and without corn, you don't make bourbon. So,
Just saying.
and without potatoes, you don't make vodka. So, you didn't know about that? That's because you're Mexican. Without worms, you can't make tequila. You didn't know that? You ever seen, like, they put the worms in the grinder and the juice comes out?
Tequila.
Oh, you don't want to know how the sausage is made. You just want to eat it. No, I got you. I got you. What's up, Tread?
So good.
Tread, we're just hanging, homie. No, I'll tell you honestly, I was talking to my wife earlier. I was listening to one of Saw's videos earlier about thankfulness, and it occurred to me, with everything that we've had going on here lately, I've not been terribly thankful when talking to the Father. And I haven't been doing a good job of saying thank you. So, I did say thank you earlier for all these things that seem stressful and seem like problems. They're good. And if he didn't want me to have them, I wouldn't have them. And so that means I'm supposed to have them. Copy that. And so embracing the suck, I think, is a lot more, it should be a lot more along the lines of this sucks, praise Yah. Right? And then even then it's like, does it suck? Does it suck because I'm annoyed that I want to be doing something else, but instead of I'm doing this thing for Yah? Oh, wow, I guess that sucks, right? Like, who am I, Jonah? Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Nope.
You know, like, don't want to be that guy. And so it was actually pretty important that I watched that video earlier, and it helped me shift my perspective back to where it needed to be. And then I was talking to my wife about it earlier before dinner. That mindfulness, you know, I think a lot of people think that I'm some kind of like special dude and try and put me on a pedestal. And I've told you guys over and over again, don't do that.
You're special.
I'm just, yeah. If I'm special, it's short bus special, all right? But I have my moments as well. I have my times where I scream at the sky. I have my times where I'm pissed off or sad or just out of sorts. Like, that happens to me too. And like, it doesn't mean I don't love Yah, but I might not be terribly happy with the situation right now, right? But what happens when you get in that situation is that you're inwardly focused. So, oh, woe is me. Why is this happening to me? And it's like, yeah, asshole, you're not the center of attention. Like, I made the universe, not just you. And by the way, the universe is not your playground. It's my playground, and you're in it, right? And so, remembering that, and then get online, right? Getting back to being vertically aligned and getting back to where the Father needs me, not inwardly focused, but outwardly focused and upwardly focused, because really, what do I have to complain about? I have everything I need and most of what I want. I'm surrounded by people that I love. I'm safe. There's food in my belly. My bills are paid. Like, what do I have to complain about? Like, oh no, you're a little extra busy doing Yah's stuff right now. It's like, yeah, asshole, why do you think I made you? So, yeah, perspective, right? So, not really embracing the suck, being thankful for things that could masquerade as suck might be a better way to put it.
There's a season for it all, brother.
There is a season for it.
I was telling our neighbor over here that earlier when I was walking through some stuff. I said, oh man, the attack. I said, there's a season for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you're the freaking hammer, and sometimes you're the nail.
Well, and we need to be careful what we call an attack of the enemy as well, right? Like, minor shit is not an attack. If that's what you think an attack is, we're gonna be those assholes that should be walking into the promised land, and instead of focusing on the fruit that Caleb and Joshua are holding, we're like, yeah, but there's giants in there. It's like there are grapes the size of a basketball. Let's focus on the fruit that's so overwhelming, literal overwhelming fruit. Instead, focus on the goodness instead of, oh, there might be some giants in there. And after they get in there, the two dudes that made it into the promised land, that left Egypt and made it to the promised land, Yehoshua, son of Nun, Joshua, and Caleb, son of Zephunah, right? Caleb's 85 years old, and he says, yo, Josh, I want Hebron. And Josh says, nah, negative, bro, there's giants up in there. And Caleb's like, dude, I'm as good today as I was 45 years ago when Moshe tapped me on the shoulder. I want Hebron. And Josh says, if you can take it, you can have it. And Caleb's like, roger that. 3 giants, the sons of the Anakim, whatever, goes up there and slays them. So it's mindset, right? Like, we're focused on the giants in the promised land. Ooh, it's scary. I don't want to go do this thing. It's like grapes the size of basketballs. The valley of Eshcol. That's literally what it means. Enormous fruit, right? And we're like, yeah, but the enormous fruit is scary. I might get killed. It's like, you're going to die anyway.
Now I have the courage to go take the range tonight without nods.
There you go.
That's you, Sasquatch.
Yeah. You just let me know, so I know that's you back there. I would not walk around in these woods after dark without telling me.
I'm not doing it. I'm not going with you, bro. I'm gonna stay at the house,
Wear a PT belt. Wear a safety vest.
bro. I'm gonna need a whistle and all kinds of stuff, man.
Why are they putting green dots on lights now? I don't know what you're talking about. Bear, any advice or experience with government auctions? I've never done an online auction. I have browsed the hell out of those sites, but I've never actually bought anything off of them. But I've done physical auctions, and the one piece of advice I can give you is make sure you know which lot you're bidding on, because those auctioneers go fast. And I missed out on an Alice Chalmers dozer for $12,000 because I thought the guy was talking about the pallet of winch line next to it. I wasn't paying attention. Lesson learned, pay attention. Let's see. Hi, Bear. Could we come join you for Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles? We were interested last year, but missed it. We'd like to do it with other like-minded believers. Alyssa, I appreciate you very much, but unfortunately the answer to that's going to be no. You would need to come visit first, and we would have to get to know you first. That's how we do things, because... and you might be awesome, and your family might be awesome, and this has happened before. We've had lots of awesome families here that we just didn't quite vibe with. And so the challenge with Sukkot is like, you're going to be with those people for 8 days plus, and you better get along. So, Blurry Creatures podcast for all your biblical needs about the giants and Sasquatch. Interesting. I'm going to call my mom tonight, I promise. Nice. What are you making?
Smoker.
Smoky?
Yeah, that's glue. Don't touch it.
I won't touch it. I like the random eyeball in the glue. Thank you.
That's the cylinder.
Oh, thank you for showing me. Fabulous work. Hey, don't let anything else touch the glue, okay?
Good job.
Please talk to people about getting set up with Faraday bags and cases. Nah, that sounds like something you're pretty passionate about. I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I'm just not. You can do all the research you want to on a Faraday case, a Faraday cage, and bags, and protection of commo gear and electronics and all that. I'm just not that into it, honestly. If we get EMP'd back to the 1800s, in many cases, and I'm really not trying to like be tongue-in-cheek about this, in many cases that would be like a relief to me. It's like, oh, sweet. It's like, Did you shoot your video today? Like, oh, right. We don't do that anymore. I guess I'll go weed the garden. What you got there, rat?
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought an Olight instead of a red dot, and it's a green dot. Well, Olight makes flashlights. Red dots are for aiming rifles. So we're in two different ballparks here, Rebecca.
They have one the same.
Thoughts on bioengineered foods? Nope. Eat food that comes out of your garden. And at Franklin Farmstead, I know that you do gardening stuff, but I think for everybody else, we need to focus on the concept of grow your own food. Let me see that sucker.
Oh, rat?
Yeah.
He's excited.
Yeah, he's trying to eat the cat. There we go. Look at that right there.
I know. I still love you.
This guy, what, is 12 pounds, 12 ounces?
Yeah.
At 6 weeks old? Yeah. He's, you're a killer.
Show me paws.
Yeah, look at them paws.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, you're gonna be a killer. Right, buddy? There you go. And now your dad wants to play? Here's your little friend. I could do the say hello to my little friend thing, but... Sam, come here. There you go. Good job. Kill any bad guys today? Yeah. 3 or 4, Dad. They had it coming. Yeah. Did you eat any bad guys? Yep. Murder pup. Yep. Good job. All right. Go lay down. Murder dogs. SHTF happens in visiting bear. Jimmy James, you better know the passcode. Don't just show up and do not approach the gate at night. What breed? Anatolian Pyrenees mix, and then his offspring is a combination of Anatolian Pyrenees mix and mutt, because it was an unplanned pregnancy. So... Bring the dog to hunt the Sasquatch. I'm pretty sure he's killed a few of them already, honestly.
Probably friends with him.
Yeah, they're probably just hanging back there being furry. Yeah. I have fur, you have fur. Bear, can you make a flotation refuge pack for water activities? Maybe. Are you prior military or Leo? I am not. I have worked with a lot of those people though in a previous life. And now with refuge training, we work with them again. I love the new Papa Pepper shirt, Sanctified Supply. I haven't seen it yet. What's the nuclear Pelosi? Should I be worried? Oh, you got clickbaited too. Nope, you shouldn't be worried. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I'm like, I just don't know what to name the title of this video or live stream. So then I just go full blown like Canadian prepper on it and throw everything I can in there. So. How do you cook a Sasquatch? You don't. They go forth on paws. I think maybe they're metaphysical, and so if you shoot one, they just disintegrate into the ether. What about that? Anybody thought about that? Which is going to ruin my plan of selling it to the CIA. Although at this point, they might be like, bro, we have like 14 of these, not interested. So maybe we also need the Smithsonian on speed dial then, since they're just like hell-bent on covering up giants, you know? Yeah. Did you end up making there's a tour for that shirt? Not currently. We have another shirt design we're working on right now, and I'll be honest with you, probably should have had it out a month ago. I've just been a little busy doing Grindstone and Caleb House stuff, and so it hasn't happened, which is okay. Like, it's no plan survives contact with the enemy. Well, we plan to put a shirt out, and then we're contacted by the enemy. So we'll put a shirt out sooner or later.
One day.
One of these days.
Did that comment about the coat?
I didn't. Please walk us through what Sukkot is and how your family does it. Hobble Creek Homestead. All right. Let's go ahead and alienate 3/4 of the people who are here. Turn with me to Leviticus 23 in your Bibles. Wa'ikra, Leviticus, which means to be called, Va'ikra. Go to Leviticus 23, the Moedim, the appointed times, what the King James refers to as the feasts or the high holy days. Leviticus 23, starting in, let's see, verse 33. And Yahuwah, the Lord your God, spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the children of Israel, that's us, Romans 11:16, saying, on the 15th day of this 7th new moon is the festival of Sukkot, or tabernacle, or the feast of weeks. Not the feast of weeks, the feast of ingathering. Shavuot is the feast of weeks. For 7 days to Yahuwah. On the first day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. That means it's a party. You hang out, you don't work. It's a high Sabbath. For us, we cook a sheep over a fire. Although this year, we're going to be cooking a baby bull. And I can't wait. Because we're commanded to give your first to Yah. I'm like, I got this bull. He's an a-hole. He's going to be delicious. What am I supposed to do with him? Damn, the tribe keeps growing. What if we cook a whole cow for Sukkot? So we're cooking a whole cow first day of Sukkot. It's going to be incredible. Can't wait. Right? It is a Sabbath of rest to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Looked in the wrong place. On the first day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. For 7 days, you bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. We keep the fire going for 7 days. We don't do burnt offerings. We don't do any of that. That portion of the Torah we're incapable of doing because the book of Hebrews, Yeshua is the high priest, and the temple is in here in our hearts. So we don't do burnt offerings. There's no Levites to do Levitical burnt offerings at the temple, which doesn't exist. So, but we keep a fire going. On the 8th day, there shall be a set-apart gathering or a high holy day for you. And you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. It is a closing festival. You do no servile work. Another party at the end of 8 days. These are the appointed times of Yahuwah, which you proclaim as set-apart gatherings to bring an offering made by fire to Yahuwah, an ascending offering, and a grain offering, and a slaughtering, and a drink offering, as commanded for every day. So, and then it goes on from there. You can keep reading the remainder of Sukkot. On the 15th day of the 7th new moon, when you gather in the fruit of the land, celebrate a festival of Yahuwah for 7 days. The first day is a day of rest. On the 8th day, a day of rest. You shall take for yourselves on the first day the fruit of good trees, branches of palm trees, twigs of leafy trees, and willows of the stream, and shall rejoice before Yahuwah your Elohim for 7 days. Sukkot is an 8-day long party where you go camping with your homies and you're thankful to Yah. And you shall celebrate it as a festival. Celebrate it. It, like, everybody's like, you put yourself back under the burden of that law. Like, you should try it. Like, try it before you knock it, man. It is thebomb.com. It is incredible, right? A law forever in your generations. A law for how long? I'm sorry, did you catch that? Oh, forever. Malachi 3 verse 6, I'm the Lord Yahuwah Sabaoth, I change not. Dwell in booths for 7 days. That means temporary dwellings. All you who are native born in Israel dwell in booths, so that your generations know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahuwah your Elohim. That is beautiful. What is that?
Me.
That's you? You did a self-portrait? Let me see.
Not that. Not that dribble.
Can I show the people your self-portrait? It's a really good self-portrait.
Not that dribble.
Not the dribble. It looks really good. Are you orange? Is that what color that is?
Yeah.
Looks fabulous. High five. Thank you. Go let that one dry, okay?
Those are ponytails.
Those are ponytails? I thought they were sheep's ears.
You are weird.
I'm weird. You have sheep ears. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know they're ponytails. So that's how we do Sukkot. We pick a piece of land. We all gather on that piece of land. We bring our tents. We bring our off-grid cooking utensils and coolers full of beverages, and we hang out for 8 days. Because it's 8 days, there's at least one Sabbath in there. And this year, the way it's shaken out is, so you got day of prep, Friday, then you have Shabbat, then the first day of Sukkot is a first day, a Sunday, so it's a double Sabbath, right? So you have your weekly Shabbat on Saturday, and then you have your high Sabbath on Sunday, the first day of Sukkot. And so then 8 days from there, right, the weekly Sabbath will fall that following Saturday, Shabbat, sundown Friday through sundown Saturday, and then the closing festival, the last day, will be Sunday again. So we're really going to be there for like 10 or 11 days, which is going to be awesome. Like, it's going to be a blast. You go camping with your homies and you celebrate to Yah, and it is not a burden. It is a blessing. And what's so cool about it is the study that you have with your people is incredible. This very porch right here, we ended up having a 6-hour-long, 17-man midrash talking about how awesome Yah and Yeshua are. Like, nobody planned it. It wasn't like Bible study at 10:30, boys. Everybody bring your bookmarks. Like, there was none of that. Like, it was awesome. You can't plan that stuff, and so you let it naturally happen, and you learn a lot about the people that you're doing life with. Because Pastor Joe, PJ, likes to say, like, you can hide who you are from somebody for a day or two, but over the course of a week or 10 days, no, you get to see the real person. You get to see how couples fight, which is fun. Like, not like knockdown, drag out, but can you flip that light on, sweetheart? Thank you. But, there's like little spits and spats and, kids playing and kids get tired, and it's good. It's super good. And there's also a biblical prescription for saving money throughout the year for Sukkot, that if you desire meat, buy meat. If you desire to give gifts, give gifts. If you desire wine and strong drink, then have wine and strong drink. Like, it's a celebration. It's a festival to Yah. It's an 8-day party. And it's biblical. It's not Babylonian whoring and idolatry. It's biblical. And like, the Father is totally there. The Spirit is totally there. The Spirit moves at feast times. Pesach, Shavuot, Passover, Pentecost, and Sukkot, or Tabernacles. Spirit it's like a bulldozer, man. We tell people all the time, if it's their first Passover followed by unleavened bread, which is another 8-day celebration, Passover being the first day, and then 7 days of unleavened bread. And they're like, well, what are we going to do? It's like, you'll figure it out. And they're like, well, like, what happens? It's like, just give it time, because you don't know it, but you're a little itty bitty pile of dirt, and the Spirit is a D9 cat dozer, and you're going to get run over. It's going to happen. So just, I can't tell you when, can't tell you how, I can just tell you it's going to happen. And what's cool is, it proves the fact that the Father's word will not return to him void. Because if you are obedient, then you will be blessed. And if you are obedient to do his feasts, to meet with him at his appointed times, that's what Leviticus 23 is, he shows up too. And it's a real tangible experience. Like, I'm not talking about like dark energy and crystals and like, I'm not talking about horse shit. I'm talking about the creator of the universe is actually tabernacling with you. He's actually in your midst, and you can feel it and experience his presence. And it is the most beautiful thing, man. Like, nothing compares to it. And it just, my rebuttal now when people are like, well, you put yourself under the law. Like I said, like, you should try it, man. Try it before you knock it, because you don't even know what you're missing. I didn't know what I was missing until I started doing it. Like, I thought I knew who God was, and that's because I took the time to meet with him a couple hours a week on the day of the worship of pagan sun idolatry. And I was just pretending 2 hours out of the 168 hours a week. Like, yeah, I knew 1/10 of 1% of what I know about Yah now then. And it just, because he who can be trusted with little can be trusted with much, right? So you show up a little bit, he'll give you a little bit more. You learn to steward that, he'll give you a little bit more. He'll reveal more and more and more about himself to you. So that's how we do Sukkot. Highly recommend you do it. And like, we've had people, they're like, but I don't have other people to fellowship with. Do you have a tent? You have a backyard? Do it in your backyard. I can't get a whole sheep for Passover. Get a leg of lamb. I can't afford a leg of lamb. Get a hamburger patty. Yah knows. The lamb is not the thing the lamb's not doing any work. Yeshua did the work. We're doing a remembrance on Passover. We're remembering what the Messiah did for us. We're remembering the fact that the Father loved us so much that he became flesh and killed himself for us so that we could come home again. The technicalities matter far less than the condition of your heart to be obedient to do it in the first place. And so, like, no paralysis by analysis. Like, do the damn thing. So, all right. I got off on another pontification. I apologize.
I dig.
There's still 1,200 people here. Oh, John don't know.
No, you don't know.
John don't know.
No.
John's just like, I think this guy talks with an iPhone occasionally.
No, he don't know.
Yup. All right, now I got to reposition the camera. Let's see if we can do this. How's that? Is that good?
Yeah, you're good.
That works?
Yep.
Thanks to the Red Dot and LPVO video, helped with the decision for an optic for the new broomstick. You put an optic on your broomstick? Your wife is going to expect you to use the broom if you got an optic on it. Is it okay to castrate a sheep or bull prior to eating it? Yes, unless you're using it for a feast. If you're using it as an observance, a memorial at one of the appointed times, then no, because it needs to be intact. Ideally. Now again, if that's all you have, that's all you have. But like, we have animals specifically, we name them. You are Passover, you are Shavuot, you are Sukkot 1, you are Sukkot 2. Like that, those are their names. We know what their destinies are. And so, if you have enough animals to even consider castrating for eating, then you probably have enough animals to set aside for that. Any plans for a zip line from the porch to the outhouse? You know, we have talked about that a whole bunch.
We have talked about that a lot.
We certainly have. Do you have a P.O. box? Yep, email admin@Bear-Independent. Our tractor makes life a lot easier on our homestead. Yes, it does. What's up, Otto? Have the Sasquatch visited you on your home? No. If they had, there would be dead Sasquatch and piles of brass everywhere. Because I'm not even, if an 8-foot tall Yeti shows up in my backyard, I'm not even beginning to ask questions. I will kill that thing on this live stream. I just
Right
like
now.
I need everybody is cleared hot to shoot the Wookiee looking thing in the backyard. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I know, I haven't looked at it yet, but I guess Moss like super slowed down the video
Uh-huh.
clip, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh dude, it's there.
Yeah.
It's totally there.
Pull it up. Let's see it.
Let me see where I can find that dang old thing.
I'm curious right now. Like, super bad. Not that curious.
I wonder if I'll get a. I wonder if I will get a. What do they call it? Copyright strike. for showing my own video on my own live stream?
I don't know.
All right, so I'm gonna put the
I mean, you own it.
playback speed on 0.25. Yes, I own this video. This is my video. I'm gonna forward to 8 minutes and 4 seconds. Now, between the third and fourth shots, right here, in between the back of the berm and the tree, look right here, right where my finger is. Can you see this? Can you see the screen on the screen? Is that working?
Yeah. You can come a little closer.
Okay.
Up a little bit.
All right. So when I hit play, where you want to look is right here. Okay. And this is at 1/4 speed between the third and fourth shots. Play, sucker. Everybody watching? Shot 1, shot 2, and it's not the brass. Shot 3, watch. You see it? Did you see it?
I don't know.
You couldn't see it?
No.
All right.
Mine's just now playing. So hold on.
I could not. It was a little too digital on my phone.
Okay. So I go back to normal speed. Go to 808. All right.
You're probably coming closer.
Here, this is full speed. Watch right here. Right there. Gosh, I can see it, man. 1. Ah, every time it gets me, it's totally there. And I've had people say, go watch that video. 8 minutes and 8 seconds. There's a string of fire right there. It's between rounds 3 and 4. And I posted it on Patreon. I was like, what do you guys think? And people said, it's a squirrel, it's a hawk, it's a bird. That berm is 8 feet tall. And it runs from behind the trees to behind the berm. And it's almost as tall as the berm is. I've got half a mind to go back there, set the camera up, because I'm 50 yards away from the berm. Set the camera up where I was at, and just walk out there, and then walk from that tree to the berm just for scale to show people. Because it moves behind the berm. It's not brass because it goes behind the berm. And if it's a squirrel, it's a squirrel bigger than my dog. And if it's a bird, it's a pterodactyl. So, just saying. Back to the live stream.
It's on Patreon, right?
Yeah, it's on Patreon. Tiago, right? Looks like an arm moving like a person running. Exactly. It's Chad on Patreon. It's creepy. I've watched it so many times. It's big, right? LOL, they're what God made us from. Negative, read the book, asshole. He made us from dirt. See, if he made you from a Sasquatch, when your soul exited your body, you'd turn back into a Sasquatch. Instead, when you die, you turn back into dirt, because that's what you were made from. Oh, I know, Double Tapping Hillbilly. I know there are. I know there are. I've heard them. I now might have seen one. I've heard stuff screaming in the woods in the hills around our house. It sounds like an elk, but it's not elk.
You can leave the light on camera.
It sounds halfway between a cow mooing and an elk screaming. And I'll tell you what, I blow my shofar, it shuts the hell up.
Yeah.
For real. So, yeah, there's no elk here. You should capture the Nephilim Bigfoot alive. Consider use for relaxing bear strikes, big ass leg hold. Maybe. I've thought about that. Oki's boss demon. Maybe. There's no demons on property that I'm aware of. But I also didn't think I was going to catch a Sasquatch on film at the range. So who knows?
It wouldn't even be as good if you hadn't talked about it in a prior video.
I know, but yeah,
That's what makes it like
I know.
good.
Probably someone from the bank. I don't owe anybody any money, so don't believe in debt.
We're on the right side of the range then.
How many do you think are out there? I don't know, but I think they're like rabbits. If you see one, there's 10 more you can't see. That's my guess. Shalom, Mona Lisa. If it doesn't like a shofar, then it sounds like it's from the adversary. Exactly, the tradesman. Michelle Obama. You know, maybe. I hadn't thought about that, but it did have great arms. So,
It could have been Mike.
Big Mike? Yeah, it was definitely Big Mike. Remember that whole time they're like, she has such great arms. It's like, yeah, because she's a power lifter with an Adam's apple. Like, might be IRS.
We're getting all the way into it now.
Oh no. JT. You're high. Yep. Super high, bro.
Wait, is someone concerned with your shooting accuracy?
Bear, do you think it's a camera lens making issues from smoke from the rifle? I don't. I looked at it and I looked at it and I looked at it. It goes behind the berm. It moves from the trees to the berm. The smoke was in the foreground. That was in the background. Now, it's possible that it was some issue with the camera lens and the way the light moved in the trees. It's possible. In fact, I even said on Patreon, I would prefer it if it was explainable. Like, oh yeah, it's a glitch in the software, or it's this or that. But I probably watched it 100 times. I don't think that it is. Man, there's a lot of comments. Jason Cheney, what would be a good direction to go when trying to change nonsensical Good Samaritan laws in here in Bama? What's up, Jason Cheney? Do you have a channel, Jason? Go to channel. Jason Cheney has a channel. I don't know how many subscribers he has, but he has no videos. No subscribers and no videos. But he has a check mark. Jason, are you a bot from China?
What did you want to know?
What would be a good direction to go when trying to change nonsensical Good Samaritan laws here in Bama? I would point to use cases and studies from other states and pointing out how many lives Good Samaritan laws have saved. That's what I would do. And also important to understand with law enforcement, because that's what LEOs are, right? Law enforcement officers. Law enforcement, the first step in law enforcement is discretion. If you're trying to save somebody's life, yeah, you could and that's different than civil, right? But if you're trying to save somebody's life, you're acting in good faith and you can articulate that. What concerns do you have? Especially if it's somebody you know and love. But even an innocent bystander, a stranger, and you're trying to save somebody's life, you're trying to help. Typically speaking, there are laws that protect you from recourse backlash on that everywhere.
I do.
What's your thoughts about Melchizedek? He was a priest, a high priest. He lived in Salem, which means peace. He was the king of peace, which is why Yeshua is referred to as the Prince of Peace, a high priest in the order of Melchizedek. Some people think Melchizedek was Shem. That's like an oral tradition of the Yehudim, of the Jews. Shem and Eber. Some people think Melchizedek was Yeshua. I think Melchizedek was Yeshua. Yeah, the video is not new. That's the other thing that people don't understand is I batch content, so it didn't happen yesterday.
Yeah, they were asking if you had looked for tracks, and I'm like,
Now,
you didn't know.
I did actually this morning when I was back there on the four-wheeler
Right.
feeding the sheep. I was like, I'm going to go back there and look. It's irking me. I got to go look. There is a pathway worn behind the berm.
Huh.
And it's not a deer path. Because deer clear a path maybe 4 foot, 4.5 foot high. Hogs are lower than that. It's tall enough a man could walk through there. And I didn't put it there.
Where'd
Yeah.
it go? Yeah, we need to go walk the path.
Everybody grab lunch. Let's go.
I gotta borrow that bump helmet though. I'll be right back.
JT seems to not understand how this channel works. JT is like, everything that's going on, we're talking about this fantasy shit. Bro, we're talking about whatever I want to talk about because you're on my porch right now. And if you don't like it, pack your shit up and go. There's if you just want a dopamine hit, go watch somebody else's video. You're probably a piece of shit. Go watch some porn and jerk off. Go do that. Like, get your serotonin. But we're going to talk about what I want to talk about. Because I can. Because it's my show. Okay? Okay. Have a nice life. Yeah. Make a big hole with a skis. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But that almost feels like some Looney Tunes stuff right there. Like, dig a hole, cover it with leaves, and let the Sasquatch fall into it.
You probably end up with a whole kinds of shit you didn't want in it.
So I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people are like, yeah, you need to go in the woods with your NVGs, with your nods, and go look for Sasquatch. I would freak the F out if I saw Sasquatch under nods in the woods alone.
Yeah, solo's no good. You need like a two.
Yeah, we're taking a platoon, homie. We go Sasquatch hunting after dark. Like, it's full blown. We need a reserve and a QRF. We need to figure out where the casualty collection point is. There's a full blown in-brief with an op ward. Like, it's going down.
Yeah, we need like missile strike, light the sky flares. all that.
I'm saying, dude, everything. Close air support. Like, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. You see that thing under nods, I'm telling you, I think most grown men would piss themselves. I might. The truth in advertising, I might.
I can't guarantee either way.
You see an 8-foot tall hairy man standing there who just materializes out of the bushes. Because the other thing that people don't understand with nods is it's like looking through a paper towel tube, right? So your field of vision is like a 41-degree field of view. So you don't see anything until you see it. You turn your head and boom, it's right there.
Yeah.
And you got,
No bueno.
yeah, you got Chewbacca standing there.
Yeah, he said
Forget it.
Somebody said maybe he's friendly. You could kid him out with a huge ass plate carrier and a 50 as a car piece.
Dude, yeah.
I would never trust him.
No.
I'm not putting a Nephilim on the team.
No.
That was funny
No,
though.
I don't think that's a go. Yeah, somebody asked earlier in the comments, can you use Sasquatch as an ally? And I was like,
I am playing on his team.
no.
Somebody said, do you think they're in just your area only? So, no. The piece of land that we live on 100 years ago used to be one big piece of land, and it got cut up into several smaller pieces. They're still not small, but they're now much smaller than they were when it was one giant piece of land. And the family that owned it 100 years ago still owns a piece of land around here. And I was talking to one of the people, and I said, yeah, you own that piece over there? I said, yeah, I do. And they said, yeah, back there's a ridge. And I'm like, yeah, there's a ridge. Plain as day. They go, yeah, that's where the Sasquatch live. And I'm like, because it was after the AK day, and I got all goosebumpy. I was like, no. And they're like, yeah, we used to run around back there when we were little kids. We'd hear him all the time. Seen him once or twice. I was like, you got to be kidding me, dude. And that's the same spot where that video was. To the right of my field of view when I'm shooting, to the right of there is that ridge up there. I'm like, firebomb all of it.
Oh, see, man.
I tried to research all that before I came up out here.
Oh, dude, no. You don't even know about Oklahoma Dog, man.
My family was gonna go to Montana.
Montana?
Yeah, and the first thing my little cousin showed me was this place in Montana called the Weeping Woods.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I was like, that's where we're moving? Why are we going there? You know what I'm saying? And then, oh man, it was just crazy.
Thanks, Chris.
He asked if I loved my sub 2000. I felt that.
Yeah,
I was like, yes, I do.
just posted a video on that on Patreon the other day.
Yeah, repost.
Dylan Rose, Bear, how's your backstop constructed? Is there a backhoe pit on the other side? No, there's not a pit on the other side. I just scraped the dirt because the land goes up at an angle like that, so I just scraped it level-ish and then took the dirt that I took out to make it level and stacked it into a berm. Did Alaska Prepper have a Squatch incident? I don't know. Bigfoot often gets confused for Sasquatch, yet he don't care. That's funny, Brian. What's up, Dolan's Bar?
They're cousins.
A lot of people.
Come to Philly. We will
Maybe
buy your
breakfast.
drinks all night. Maybe next. You know what? Next time I'm in Philly, I'll take you up on that. It's a really old, tall recon dude. Maybe it's just a 7-foot tall Green Beret in a ghillie suit. I don't know. What's a dog man? Just Google Oklahoma dog man.
Right now.
Yep. Would a bear trap consist of berries and fish or cigars and 5.56 green tip? Cigars, maybe. I got more 5.56 green tip than I know what to do with. Can't shoot it at steel targets, so. You can. The biggest thing is when it ricochets off of the target and starts a fire in the woods. That's the problem. Put up a trail cam, right? I'm telling you. Well, it's a school night. We'll do a couple more questions and then we're gonna call it a live stream.
Found it.
The Prepared Homestead had a Sasquatch in one of his videos. Wow, it's just going around, man. Yeah. Yep. If Trump is arrested, think that will trigger go time for anyone? Not Fed posting. Grindstone updates. Grindstone updates just went out via email and also on Patreon. And so I would recommend strongly going to Grindstone Ministries and signing up for the newsletter because updates go out monthly. A lot of you, though, had to go into your spam folders, and we fixed that. But the monthly Grindstone update goes out from the newsletter at the website. So go to grindstoneministries.com, sign up for that. Let's see.
Does it look like this?
No, it looked like an arm and a head running really fast. If Trump is arrested, think that'll trigger go time? Maybe. I don't think he'll be arrested. I think what they were trying to do was take him out of the running for the 2024 presidential election, and that backfired strongly. So now, remember when everybody said, he plays 4D chess. Trump, he's a chess player. Everybody else is playing checkers. He's a chess player. If he's playing 4D chess, maybe he set himself up to be raided. Ever think about that? Ooh, unpopular opinion time. I'll be talking more about the Trump raid at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow morning on The Brief. So tune in, check that out.
Out of Ohio, some dude tried to attack an
Saw
FBI
that.
office.
Yep. Bear, I just slowed that video down and blew up the visual. It looks like someone in a long sleeve white shirt and a black vest. Kinda, yeah. But that thing was moving, dude. Like in a frame. It moves the 10 foot of open space in between that berm and that tree. So I don't know, maybe. They were moving at a clip, whoever it was. If it was a trespasser, they were a super tall trespasser.
They were totally on the wrong side of the ramp.
And they were totally, yeah, that is the worst place to be. It comes down from in between the trees just left of where you see it run. Yeah, I saw that, Grim, right? As I'm saying, it's almost like it was in the trees and dropped out of the trees. Do you get any intel from Monkeyworks? I do not get any intel from Monkeyworks. Shalom, Chad.
Chad.
When is the raid on the bear compound? You know, Scott, you talk like that, it makes me wonder about you. It was the FBI. I don't think so.
Meth heads, they move fast.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible.
Like, oh shit! Somebody shoot me!
You ain't catching no crack
Grandpa for president of the new Confederacy. Maybe. I'd be running 10 foot of frame if Bear was shooting at me too. Oh, that's true. What's up, Travis? Did you find a blood trail? No, but it also happened a month ago. See, I batch content. Like I don't film a video on Tuesday and upload it Tuesday evening. That video has been shot for weeks. In fact, that video had been shot for a couple of months because I shot that video before I shot the trauma medicine series. And I may even do a follow-up to that video because I shot that video before I went and trained with Rex and Saw in North Dakota. And I've learned some stuff since then. So I may even do a follow-up to that video. So that video it's actually more than a month old. It's probably closer to 8 to 10 weeks old. In fact, I say in the video, yeah, because it's springtime out here. And it's August, bro. It ain't springtime. So, I know, a little, yeah, the video is posted. It's the LPV, Red Dot versus LPVO video. It posted on Tuesday. It's 8 minutes and 8 seconds between shots 3 and 4. You can see something running between the trees and the berm in the center of the screen. Let's see. Would I support Candace Owens 2028? Maybe, as long as she didn't suck. Because a lot of people sound like great candidates and then they become a candidate and then they suck. But I like Candace. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out for almost 2 hours with us. We appreciate y'all. I will see you in the morning for the brief. Y'all have a blessed night. Shalom.